Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective reading for today, Friday, April 14th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Let's get the first five of our 5-card spread. May I please have our first card? First card coming right out the gate today with this Queen of Swords energy. We like this energy. Going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For feminine right now, this is a moment of standing in your power. You are coming into your own, and this could be coming through as a lot of work today as it relates to strategy, as it relates to planning, and as it relates to maintaining healthy, strong boundaries, defending the things that you care about, putting in that work today, and being very focused and sharp on how that work interprets for you right now. While for masculine energy right now, this could have a lot of direction towards a manifestation of feminine right now that you feel is in this type of energy. It could feel a little bit more tricky for the masculine energy, depending on what position this energy is towards you right now, because this is an energy that is really standing in its power. This could interpret for some of the masculine energy right now as feeling like there is a feminine that you have a lot of attention or care towards right now, that you are concerned about the fact that like they may be even putting some blocks or some walls up towards you right now. But what we're really seeing, but you're also recognizing, this is a point of recognizing that this is an energy that is kind of in a place of putting up boundaries. And that may feel like a bit of a conflict point depending on where you are with this energy. This is a type of energy that can kind of like really be on your side, be your best advocate, or it could be feeling more like, don't be like, this could be something that you could be on the other side of the sword, as it were. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. The next card we have coming through right now in our card spread is the Fool in its reversal. We also really like to see this right now because what we're really seeing here is there is a moment that for feminine and masculine, there is a desire to move forward into new cycles with new approaches, but finding and trying to make sure not to fall into the same pitfalls that you may have experienced in prior situations or prior scenarios. Really using this right now to have a moment about being able to ask yourself right now what approaches you're taking in order to get you to what you are trying to do, making sure that you're not repeating any kind of past lessons. And especially, again, for masculine right now, this could really be interpreted as potentially trying to find some approach towards a feminine that you feel may have some boundaries up, trying to potentially find some new opportunities or avenues to maybe allow this energy to be more accepting and accommodating to whatever you're trying to come forward with today, or feeling potentially some kind of restriction point and being able to come towards this energy because of these boundaries that are up. While as for feminine right now, this is you being in a moment where you're really standing in your power, you are holding to your convictions, and you are moving forward in a very strategic way, trying to be very cautious in terms of how you proceed to make sure that you are not necessarily falling into the same lessons that you may have previously experienced. Continuing to get clarity on these cards right now, the next card we have coming through in our 5-card spread is the Four of Wands in its reversal. We've been seeing this a lot in the cards, all throughout the week. A lot of anxiety, a lot of concern, a lot of blockages, or even feelings of pessimism or cynicism as it relates to upcoming plans, to what those short-term possibilities are. There's almost like an obfuscation point that we keep seeing around this right now. But we're also seeing there is this moment that is coming through at this point where we see that for feminine, it's something about this this blockage that we see is allowing you kind of some of this trepidation as you proceed. You want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction for the best possible outcome. While for masculine, This could be feeling like there is some approach you're trying to take towards a feminine energy right now. You are trying to be very cautious, or you're feeling like there is some sort of blockage around this energy, kind of having a wall up around you to some extent. And this is making you feel kind of some sense of doubt or potentially even pessimism as you go forward from this point, because you're not necessarily seeing or experiencing that avenue of reciprocity from this energy right now, because it's moving from such a defensive position, or it's feeling pessimistic about what that future outcome is. This could also be feeling like some frustrations as it requires or appears as it relates to planning, as it relates to being able to make plans. So a lot of this coming through right now in trying to get that clarity for what those short-term future plans look like, trying to move in the best way possible. Continuing to get clarity on these cards right now. The next card we have coming through right now is the Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. So we're seeing a lot of energy expenditure today. A lot of moving forward on things, and almost an overcommitting, an overinvestment in the work that you need to do, because there is a feeling right now of potential overwhelm or needing to pour a lot of energy into things right now in order to clear up any of these anxieties or blockages as it relates to those upcoming plans. So a lot of potentially maybe some over investiture in some situations or circumstances in your life right now. But we also see that you're doing this because there's some belief in the fact that you overexpending in some capacity in these ways, be it with your time, your work, your money, your energy right now, you're feeling like that's going to kind of pull back in a way and give back in dividends if you pay it forward in some way, shape, or form. The final card for our 5-card spread right now coming through is very intriguing energy. Queen of Wands in its reversal. So this is going to feel very different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. What we're really seeing here is for feminine, you are moving right now in a place of high-minded strategy. You are thinking very strategically. You are putting up walls. You are putting up barriers. You're doing these things right because you're trying to protect this path that you're going forward into, feeling some of the anxiety about what that future path looks like, and over-investing to a certain extent. As a result, you may be feeling less empowered today or less spiritually connected. You may even be feeling like there is some kind of block in terms of you being able to feel like you're in your full manifestation potential, or feeling like you are kind of misaligned with your more masculine energy internally right now, even potentially feeling or experiencing some frustrations around communication blocks, places that you would like to communicate but you don't feel like necessarily you can, or maybe even having some anxiety around your own ability to plan that is creating this moment of uncertainty, right? This is what we're trying to clear up with this. It's a lot of this work that we see you doing right now is coming from a strategic perspective, potentially because you're experiencing this moment of anxiety around your own internal energies. For some feminines, this could even be a moment where you are balancing between two different feminine energies right now. That there may be some feminine energy around you right now that you feel isn't necessarily being as communicative. This could even be you, and that is what is requiring you to put up some of these boundaries right now, or moving in a very methodical way. While for masculine energy right now, I gotta say it, this could be, I keep on saying this with the masculine energy right now, this could be more than one manifestation of feminine coming towards you right now, or two manifestations of feminine that are in your space right now that you are in consideration of, or it is one manifestation of feminine that is embodying both of these characteristics. Because what we really see here is masculine energy is moving forward in some degree or capacity with a lot of caution and some uncertainty about the future plans, or feeling some anxiety around those plans and trying to solidify them, trying to make them a reality. Putting a lot of time and energy into places and spaces right now, almost overcommitting in their tangible space, because the feminine energy around you right now is either in a space where there's some kind of restriction or blockage in terms of them being able to allow you to come towards them, or you're feeling like there is a feminine energy that is very close to you, that is almost spiritually connected to you, but you are not necessarily in communication. That you're feeling like there is this energy that you feel very passionate or driven towards right now, but that you also feel you are not in alignment with. So this could be feeling very hairy energy for masculine right now, because we see here a lot of kind of more blocking energy around the feminines that are currently in your like in your energetic zone, and we see you really overcommitting in like the practical space, either to like move away from these and get your mind off of it, or trying to invest in them to try to turn around and have a change in what you're seeing, or change in that energy that you're experiencing from them right now. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Queen of Swords and the Fool energy. So one moment right now for feminine, having these boundaries up, moving with a lot of caution, moving with a lot of trepidation, but trying to do so in a way that you're moving into new avenues, new opportunities, but trying to take the lessons with you that you've learned in the past on these experiences. While for masculine right now, what we are really seeing is we are seeing that there is a moment that is coming through right now that is feeling like a bit of a difficulty as it relates to feminine energy, because you feel that there is this blockage coming up right now. You feel like there is these boundaries that are being put up around this, and there's something here that is making it hard or difficult to reach this feminine energy, needing to proceed in a very cautious fashion as you approach, trying to find new possibilities or experience new ways to move forward in this way, due to the fact that this energy is kind of moving in like more of a defensive position, or like holding some of their ground to a certain extent. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming right now with the Seven of Swords in its reversal. So what we're really seeing right now is there is a moment or opportunity that is occurring right now around a desire and a need not to go back to the circumstances and situations that may have caused some issues, may have caused some difficulties in the past. For feminine, this is exactly why we see you moving with such care and concern right now. Because you don't want to repeat those same lessons from the past, and you're working in a way of not going back to those experiences that may have caused you any kind of difficulty or harm, be them situations, relationships, anything of that nature. While for masculine right now, there is a moment where you are trying to find some way to move forward, potentially towards a feminine who you feel has their defenses up to a certain degree, but that also trying not to go back in a way that is going to bring up some of these painful issues from the past that may have caused the feminine energy to have this kind of feeling around you right now, moving in a way that you don't like want to kind of hit any of those swords, because it's like I feel like in a way like the masculine's looking at this feminine and they've got like swords all around them. There's swords on their at their feet, and it's like a tiptoe dance to try to get close enough to this energy because of all of like the potential places that could create like a moment of volatility. Continuing to get clarity between these cards right now, clarification between our Queen of Swords energy and our Four of Wands in its reversal. For feminine right now, this is you thinking very strategically, putting up healthy boundaries, having at the same time having some anxiety or pessimism as it relates to like the short-term plans or some things that are on the horizon, maybe even trying to take this strategic approach right now to try to get some better point of clarity on what these future plans look like and moving towards these ideal, possible, brighter outcomes. While for masculine right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment where, again, you are putting a lot of attention or concentration towards a manifestation of feminine that you feel has some guards up right now around you, and potentially even feeling some anxiety as to how to kind of correct for this, how to create this point of future possibility, making this a place of like looking, trying to move into a positive place, but feeling almost a degree of pessimism because this energy has kind of put these walls up around you right now. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Justice in its reversal. Justice in its reversal. So for feminine right now, one of the reasons you are moving right now so strategically with some anxiety to the future is because you are experiencing some degree or level of imbalance. You are recognizing, or you have a lot of anxiety towards an imbalance, and this is what you are trying to correct at this moment as you go through this point. Finding these ways of building a clearer path for the future for you is where we're going to see this balance get restored. While for masculine energy right now, there's potentially a feeling right now that you feel about some kind of potential power imbalance that you may be experiencing right now around the feminine energy. That you may be feeling like there's something around the feminine energy right now that you're experiencing where they have their boundaries up. It is making it hard to be able to build some kind of long-term future plan with them to a certain extent, feeling some of that masked optics. And this is the point of feeling that imbalance, feeling like you aren't able to reach a balancing point with this energy, almost feeling like, again, this is why you're moving in a place of like caution with this energy. Because in a way, I almost am seeing here that, again, there's something here that this is making the masculine energy a little uncertain, because they feel like they can't get good footing with this energy, because the defenses and the walls are up to such an extent, and a desire to kind of correct that imbalance in some way, shape, or capacity. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Queen of Swords and our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. So for feminine right now, this is a lot of overinvestment in the practical capacities today. A lot of pouring into your own work, into your own projects, maybe even feeling like an overinvestment, like really pouring everything you have in this moment, because you are in very much this like higher strategic perspective. While for masculine, we are also seeing, actually, I need to correct this. What I'm trying, these are the two cards we are supposed to be moving forward from. I apologize. So getting clarity right now between this situation or circumstance, same reading, different tactics. So the reason the feminine is moving forward right now is because this anxiety for what the future looked like is requiring this point of overinvestment, especially with the feminine being in their Queen of Swords energy at this time. While for masculine energy, what we're really seeing is, while there is some doubts, some anxieties from the future, feeling this point of pessimism, particularly around some feminine energy that you feel has put some blocks up. So what you're doing instead is over-investing your time and energy into the practical spaces, the places that you feel that you can affect and adjust to build this better scenario for yourself. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Star energy. I love this. I love this. Because what we're really seeing happening right now for feminine, this is a moment of choosing yourself, of coming into your own power, of allowing yourself this moment of being your most authentic, expressive version of yourself, and pouring all of this energy, even with some of the anxieties about the future coming into play. You are taking that and you're pouring it. You are taking all of that investiture and you're putting it back into yourself, so that you can be in a place where you feel you are your most authentic expressive version of yourself, and you can show the world that to the best of your capacity. While for masculine right now, what we're really seeing is there is an effort right now where, again, you are not seeing some bright possibilities on the horizon around some circumstances or scenarios. So you are over investing right now. You are pouring a lot of time and energy into, or in the direction of this Star energy, of this energy of a manifestation of feminine that you feel is in their most authentic, expressive place. And it is to this energy that you are really pouring a lot of attention, even at the point, and almost like potentially, I got to point out, for some of the masculines right now, could be a lot of separate feminine energy. Right? So this is either now speaking towards a singular feminine that embodies all of these qualities, or at least maybe two, maybe even three for some of the masculines of this energy. Pouring a lot of investment right now into an expression of feminine that you feel is in their open, vulnerable place, that you see as getting this attention towards them, is able to generate this kind of attention or attraction towards them. And that is the place that you're potentially overpouring your own energy right now, even in the face of some situations or circumstances that are not necessarily working out to your best, working out in the best way. This is kind of a correction point or a reinvestment into new places. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal and our Queen of Wands in its reversal. So for feminine right now, this is a moment of feeling a bit of anxiety or over investiture into your practical space, pouring a lot of time and energy and resources into things right now. And as a result, feeling a bit off alignment, feeling something around this that is keeping you feeling a little bit in a blockage point, not necessarily in tune as much as you would ideally want to be with more of your spiritual side, because you're having to pour so much into the practical right now. While for masculine right now, This is potentially over investiture in the more practical spaces in your life right now, because there is this connection to feminine that you feel you have this spiritual connection with. You feel this energy is there, and this energy in some way is being blocked from you. Either they're not communicating with you, you're not in communication with them, or you're feeling like the communication is not in a positive place. And this is what's requiring some kind of over investiture in the practical space in the midst of this. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Five of Cups in its reversal. So this is a moment of trying to move into a place of positive thinking. I love seeing this card in its reversal, because what it really says now, even and this moment of anxiety for feminine, you are not letting this get your spirits down. This is about you turning your attention away from those places that have been causing you grief and reorienting to those positive places, even potentially pouring as much as you can into them right now to get your mindset out of one that you're feeling more in a low vibration, so that you can get kind of back into connection with your higher spiritual self and your own connection with masculine. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment where you are pouring a lot of work and time and attention right now into your practical spaces. And some of this energy is either going to try to get it back in communication with this energy that you feel is a feminine, that you are not, that you have a spiritual connection to, that you are not necessarily in a positive place with. Or this is a lot of over investiture in the practical spaces right now, because you are feeling there is this blockage from feminine. That's all we keep seeing here, a blockage to feminine, a blockage to feminine, and trying to move into a space of positive thinking, even in the midst of it. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, our clarification between our Seven of Swords in its reversal and our Justice card in its reversal. So, not making the decision not to go back to situations or circumstances that have caused grief or anxiety and pain, making that choice and allowing that to be a point that you're recognizing that those places are creating imbalance, that having these moments in the past that you've been thinking about going back to, recognizing that they were places that created imbalance for you right now, which is why you are working so hard not to return to them. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Five of Wands. There is a feeling about going back to these past circumstances or situations. It's almost twofold, because not only is there a desire not to return to them because that they would cause pain and that there's an imbalance there, but that there's active arguments, that there are active arguments that still need to be resolved in them, that haven't reached a point of resolution. And this is what's creating a bit of this uncertainty, a bit of this imbalance point that you're feeling. Because even while you don't want to go back to them, you are feeling like there is almost an active argument that is still happening, either tangibly that you're trying to deal with right now, or metaphysically or emotionally that you're still trying to work through. And this connection to the past is what's creating this point of imbalance to a certain degree. Continuing to get and feeling some conflict. I'm really seeing here feeling some conflict, feeling some of that pull to go back to them, potentially even for some of you, even while recognizing that they might not necessarily be the best places for you. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Justice card in its reversal and the Star energy. For feminine right now, identifying places of imbalance that may have been preventing you from coming into your Star energy, but allowing, even in this moment of recognizing and identifying and working through some imbalances, still rising into the space of coming into your own star power, coming into this place where you can be seen and appreciated for your most vulnerable, authentic representation of self. While for masculine, this could be feeling like a lot of imbalance right now, a lot of imbalance for the masculine around the feminine energy, because there's something here about some attention that you have towards a feminine that is in their Star energy that is making you or expressing or making you feel like it's creating a sense of imbalance. May I please have one card to clarify? clarification coming right now with the Queen of Cups. So what are we really seeing here? So again, a bit different for masculine or feminine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. I'm going to keep saying it. There might be a lot of different feminines for the masculines right now. I'm just seeing there's a lot of feminine energy here, man. So if this is like, I got to say, if this is for masculines, if this is one feminine, it's a very complicated feminine energy is what I'm really seeing. You're feeling very complicated about it. Like, that's the thing. I feel like this is like a haywire moment for the masculines, because if this is one energy, it's like it's activating, like it's zapping like all of your chords at the same time is what I'm seeing. If it's dispersed, it's going to feel just as complicated. It's just going to be a lot more chaotic. Okay. So what we're going to, so for feminine right now, what we're really seeing is, again, this is a moment where you are seeing some kind of imbalance, right? You are moving into this place of being authentic. But one of the things that I think that you're recognizing that is becoming difficult for the feminine right now is finding, this is really cool, finding a point of balance between being able to be in your most authentic expression of yourself and also being able to hold space for your own degree and level of compassion, right? Because one thing we identify with the star energy is it can feel very isolating, right? The star is an energy that kind of sits alone in the sky. It can feel like a very isolating energy. So there is an imbalance point for the feminine right now, trying to wade between these two degrees, these two emotions of feeling this desire to want to be in your most authentic expression of self, but trying to also make room to keep that empathic place, to keep that place that doesn't want to be distant to a certain extent, that wants to have these connection points. This is something that the feminine is currently struggling through, that is requiring a sense of balance. While for masculine energy right now, this could be feeling, I gotta point it out, either one energy or more than one energy, that there is either two energies like feeling some kind of imbalance between either a single feminine that embodies these qualities or two different manifestations of feminine. One that you identify is existing in this space that is harder to access, that is feeling like they are moving and operating in this like cold, distant, but very recognized state, like coming into a place where they're really being seen and appreciated, versus an energy that is emotionally available, that is compassionate, that has this wellspring of emotions for you, that is offering more of this maternal, nurturing energy. But having both of these in some way is creating this imbalance. There's something here that is not allowing a connection point, because it doesn't give you a place to reach, or you're feeling some inability to choose between these two different energies. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Star card and our Five of Cups in its reversal. So a moment right now, again, for feminine, going through into a space of really embodying this dark energy, moving into this place of being seen, your most authentic expression of self, allowing yourself to operate in this space where you are being your most authentic expression of self, and allowing, even in this moment that could feel somewhat isolating, let's be clear, thank you so much for the gift, using this investiture in the self as a moment of bringing one into a sense of allowing yourself to move out of a state of grief towards a place of positivity. While for masculine right now, a focus right now on this star energy, a new approach, a new direction towards this energy right now, and feeling some degree of optimism, feeling some like light being shed on a situation as it relates to this. Maybe even receiving some indication that even with this energy here, there is some possibility of a change occurring. May I please have one card to clarify? Two cards coming out to clarify right now. Oh my goodness gracious. This is some complicated stuff, my friends. This is some complicated stuff. Tarot is putting me to work today to explain this stuff. Tarot is putting me to work today to explain this stuff. Okay, so what are we seeing here? Jeez Louise, how do I even, oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So getting clarification. If you're feeling a little weird, I'm going to explain to you why you're feeling a little weird. Right? That's what the tarot is doing for us today right now, because this is what we're seeing. We'll do masculine first. For masculine right now, what we're really seeing is, again, a lot of attention and direction paid towards a manifestation of feminine that you feel is in this star energy. Could feel a little intimidating. Star energy can feel kind of intimidating towards masculine sometimes, but really we're seeing here that this is a moment of feeling some kind of turnaround, some kind of positive change occurring, feeling like there's some kind of access point that's giving you a point of optimism. But what's this? It's creating this like strange moment in you, because again, you're building a plan, you're building a path, you're starting to think about how you're going to like approach this energy, how you're going to come through in this communication, but you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You're still operating in a place of uncertainty and doubt. You're like, this is giving a lot of energy of someone who is pulled back. It's actually, okay, that's what we're seeing. Someone who's intentionally pulled back because they think or they believe that that'll give them the best advantage. Almost someone who's intentionally pulling, this is an intentional weight. This is an intentional regression point. This is an intentional pulling back of the energy with the thoughts that this is like the right strategy to take towards this energy. While for feminine, oh my God, these kids. For feminine, what we're really seeing is happening is feminine is in this space. Oh my gosh, guys. Really? For feminine, that's not what's happening at all. For feminine, what we're seeing here is a moment where feminine is feeling in this point where they're pouring a lot of energy towards themselves right now, pouring a lot into their cups, trying to move into a place of positivity. Why are they trying to move in a place of positivity? Well, because, and this could be either two different manifestations of masculine or one, right? There's either for feminine two different manifestations of masculine right now. One that they feel is just completely pulled away, but they're not, and this is why they have a moment of positivity here, because at the same time, there's another energy around feminine that is not pulling away, that there's very healthy communication around, that they're being able to really communicate with. And this is what's allowing the feminine to be in their star energy. Or this is also, again, having some moment or recognition right now for feminine of some type of energy that may not necessarily be feeling like there is potentially a representation of masculine that you are thinking of right now that cannot come towards you right now with the rapidity or the speed that you would desire, but you're still feeling confidence in the connection due to the communication. So everybody better be communicating right now is really the message. Because if like the messiness here is if someone thinks that not communicating is going to be the way to like access this energy, that's not what's going to happen if you look at the feminine and masculine cards. Let that serve as your warning today, folks. The only person who loses in this is a masculine who thinks that pulling the energy back is going to like be like the trigger point to a certain extent right now. All right, continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification coming through between our Five of Wands in combination with our Queen of Cups energy right now. So moving forward in a space right now of going through a point, and this is going to feel a bit difficult because with this energy for feminine, this is a moment that you are experiencing, you are feeling. Feminine feels like they are in the midst of some kind of conflict, that there is some active conflict that is currently occurring around feminine. This could be a tangible conflict, something they are actively in the act of having a conflict around right now, or it could be a metaphysical one. It could be an emotional one. But there's something about this conflict that is really bringing the feminine into a space of deeper understanding of their heart space. While for masculine right now, there is a feeling of some degree or level of conflict that is occurring right now. and this is what is very confusing. I'm almost seeing here a situation or circumstance with masculine right now where they're engaged in some kind of conflict that they are trying to go through, be it tangible or be it very much metaphysical in the same way, or emotional, with the support at the same time, feeling supported to go through this conflict to a certain degree, because there is a representation of feminine around them right now, offering them a degree of nurture and emotional support even as they experience the point of conflict. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Nine of Swords and its reversal, if that makes sense. So what we're really seeing here right now is, again, feminine is at this point where even if they're experiencing some degree of conflict, be it tangible, like actual, or metaphysical or emotional, this is bringing feminine deeper into their heart space, and it's giving them the opportunity to shed. Coming into your heart space in this, really embodying this, allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling and like alchemize it, is what is really allowing you at this moment to come into a space of an easement in your anxieties, in your fears. It's giving you the confidence to continue through this battle, because you are feeling that the anxiety is being shed, because you're allowing yourself to be emotionally centered throughout it. You're going through a conflict right now, but you've, like, again, I remember how I mentioned a strength training exercise the other day. You've created a point right now where you are finding you can go through a difficult circumstance without losing connection to your own emotions. Having that emotional regulation. One thing I love to point out with the Queen of Cups is she is holding her emotions with a lid on them, right? It's not that she doesn't have them. It's that she has learned to control them. And that is where we see that this degree of compassion comes from. Well, for masculine right now, there is a feeling right now of going through some kind of active conflict, be it tangible or metaphysical or emotional, feeling the support of some outside feminine energy that is able to help you through this moment right now emotionally. And this being a point of a clearing out or an easement of your burdens as you experience such. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. I love these cards. I love these cards together, my friends. I love these cards together. Between our Queen of Cups in combination with the King of Wands and a Knight of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful chemistry here. So even in the midst of this, we saw those new cycles starting. For feminine right now, we are seeing that you are in a place where you are becoming very centered in your own emotions, in your own heart space. And as a result, this is also being aided and abetted right now by some connection to a masculine that you feel is in their emotional, they're in their communication powers, that they are coming forward right now with clear vision, clear plans. This makes a lot of sense right now because, again, what is feminine looking for? Some anxiety around the places and areas that aren't giving them this clarity of what the plans look like for the future. So again, finding this kind of like oasis in a manifestation of masculine right now that you are feeling has this ability for this like grounding, this perspective, these plans that you're able to like set with them. And again, either feeling that this is going to be either one or two energies around feminine right now. Feeling like this is assisting in terms of another outside energy that you feel is just pulled back completely and is not in connection with you, putting your attention right now towards this energy specifically because they're giving you that clarity of perspective. While for masculine, this is a moment where you are very much deep in a moment of communication and planning, potentially with a representation of feminine that you feel is embodying these nurturing qualities. And this might actually be either a reason why you're pulling away from some of that other energy that we see here that you're having some issues around. Or this could be speaking right now around a circumstance or situation with the manifestation of masculine that wants to rush forward towards this manifestation of feminine that they feel is embodying this like beautiful, compassionate nature, but feeling some inability to do so at this moment, but trying to lay the groundwork and the plans to be able to do so in the future. Clarification between these two cards right now. coming through in our Hierophant. We love this. We love this. You know why? You know, this speaks towards new contracts, new commitments, deeper levels of commitment being reached, deeper levels of certainty coming through right now. Feeling like there is something around these energies right now that you're building towards a point that feels like something more grounded, more conventional, wanting to go towards these energies right now, just like specifically because it feels like something that is creating a sense of clarity and feels grounded and something that can be built upon, right? What we're really seeing here is, like, for feminine, a lot of walls going up and really just like looking towards the energy right now that seems to be coming from a place where they are intelligent and able to articulate what they want and being able to articulate what it is they want to do and where they want to go. That is the type of energy that this feminine that is open in their emotional expression right now is working towards, because they see that that is the place with a true commitment and a new degree of commitment that is possible. Potentially even pulling and pushing away from any energy that they feel is not coming through in as brave a fashion or is not communicating in the way that they would desire. Whereas for masculine right now, it is this moment of looking towards this feminine that they feel is truly embodying this ability to be compassionate, to be understanding. And that is the moment that they're coming through right now in terms of laying the groundwork, laying the plans, maybe even pulling away from other places as a result, because they can see that long-term commitment is very much tangible and available with this energy. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Nine of Swords in its reversal and the Hierophant. So truly a moment right now where you are shedding anxieties, you are shedding fears, you are pushing out of your life right now anything that is creating grief or conflict or anxiety, and instead moving to those places that are feeling like they are secure, that they are stable, that they are creating that point of deep commitment and stability for yourself going forward. Maybe even feeling like today is a day of taking, like, interestingly enough, we've been seeing a lot of unconventional approaches being taken right now, but this is the moment where, like, that unconventional approach is now switching to something that's like almost allowing you to say, I'll accept these conventional approaches because I see the fact that these are a path of peace, if you will, and moving towards those places that you feel are allowing for contracts and for deeper levels of commitment that are going to create this sense of peace within you. May I please have one card to clarify? Hangman in its reversal. This is the freeing up. Remember that resistance I was talking about? This is the freeing up away from that point of resistance. This is that moment we're seeing right now. You remember I was calling it the shedding yesterday? This is that moment, like you're continuing through this shedding process. You are letting go of the places and the things that were causing you pain. You're just at a point where it's like you don't want to suffer anymore. You don't want to go through anything that is creating grief or suffering. And you are moving in the direction now of those places that are allowing you the opportunity to free yourself from those anxieties, from those griefs, from those fears, feeling like you have learned the lessons that were required from the pain that you had to go through, that your time of having to kind of suffer has reached its point of conclusion, and you are recognizing that you are able to remove yourself from anything or anyone that's creating that sense of suffering, to go towards the things that are truly meant for you, that are truly going to make you happy, that are going to lead to long-lasting commitments, true commitments. And this is the easement that is freeing you in order to do so. Been really just freeing yourself from pain. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is, well, that's interesting. Bottom of the deck on the reading is the King of Pentacles. So what are we really seeing here? So this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. For feminine energy right now, I will point this out, a lot of the cards that we are seeing are moving you into a space of finding the places that you feel that you can be in your most authentic expression of self. And specifically also aligning yourself with the energy, both in like people and partnerships, that you feel truly see you and truly recognize you in those moments. And for some of this is requiring you to have to shed this consideration or this thought or this anxiety that you may have previously held of looking towards masculine energy specifically as a means of stability. Because what we're really seeing here is a feminine energy that is coming into being able to build that their own sense of stability for themselves. And so this is a readjustment that we're really seeing around this energy, in being able to, like, you know, understand that this isn't necessarily required to find stability, right? It's a nice to have. I'll point that out. For the feminine energy, what we're really seeing here is like the idea of like, this is a nice to have, but it's certainly not a need to have to a certain extent. Whereas, and that's why we see feminine moving in like such a cautious approach towards things right now, because they're trying to make sure that they're not necessary. They're moving into secure places, secure energies that are going to allow for truly secure bonds of emotional connection. While for masculine right now, there's something coming through where there's some deep anxiety as it relates to your own ability to create stability and support within yourself right now. That some of these conflicts that we're potentially seeing right now around masculine, and this is where we're seeing that need and requirement to overwork to a certain degree, is requiring you to feel this point of instability. This could even be springing from the fact that maybe for some of the masculine energy, having this feminine support was a place where you actually were getting a lot of like that feeling of stability and security. And now we see that you're in this moment where you're trying to recognize and try to understand how to create this for yourself right now, because there's something here where you're feeling like you're on a deficit in this. And that's why we see you kind of overworking to such a degree right now with this Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. There's almost a feeling right now for the masculines that if they can move themselves into, and we see this a lot with the masculines, I've definitely seen it a lot when I read for masculines, that the solution to the problems might just lie in like becoming more materially strong instead of kind of working on repairing the connections. But there is something about coming through in this place of like building this support for yourself right now is going to be helpful and necessary, because I do think it's going to help in your own confidence in terms of how to approach these circumstances and situations. So this could actually be acting to a certain degree as a blocker for some of the masculines right now. This like instability that you're feeling. And I will point out that this state of stability doesn't have anything to do with your material wealth. It has to do with like your own ability to create a stable, supportive environment within yourself that allows for that to grow. And I feel like a lot of masculines have to readjust this right now, which is why this is coming up bottom of the deck for the masculines. That is our daily collective read for the day. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Also, I want to remind you that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a reading. I will never inbox you. I will never message you. I will never WhatsApp you. The only way that you can book a reading with me is if you go to my website and you book it there. It is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both so that we may have our reading. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and having this reading with me today. And we will do this again tomorrow.